Hello, everyone. This is Francisco Kattan from Snowflake Developer Relations, and we are streaming from the Data Heroes Hub at the Snowflake Summit. And here with me is Barr Moses. She's co-founder and CEO of Monte Carlo. How are you, Barr?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. Hi, everyone.
Awesome. So I know you have a super interesting background. For those of the people that don't know you, maybe can you share a little bit about your background?
Yeah, for sure. So I was actually born and raised in Israel. I was born, my dad is a physics professor, and my mom is a meditation teacher. So grew up with, totally different perspectives. Yeah, in Israel, I was drafted to the Israeli military, where I actually started first working with data.
Interesting.
Doing some sort of data science way before it was called data science. Operating, sort of with data in a really high stakes environment. And actually learned about the importance of diligence in data, right? You can't afford to have the data wrong in some of those instances, in some of those environments.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
So let's dive right into it. So you're pioneering the category of data observability. Like, what is it? What is data observability all about?
Yeah, for sure. So, I think starting with sort of the pain or kind of what our customers feel, the sort of reality of folks in data today is they wake up on Monday morning and they wake up to a flurry of emails or maybe Slack ping saying, why is the dashboard wrong? Or I want to use this report and it looks inaccurate. Or is this refreshed? Was this up to date? And just a flurry of questions from people. And I live that reality personally for me. The data was wrong all the time. And I didn't understand why, the thing that bothered me the most was that I was often the last to know about it.
Yeah.
I heard about it from my downstream consumers. That was really crazy to me. We had no way to validate that the data was accurate. And so I actually ended up talking to several hundreds of people asking them, did they have shared experiences? I was like, am I crazy? Is the world crazy? What's going on? And I just saw time and again that data leaders actually face the same problem, where data is actually inaccurate often, and they're the last to know about it. And when we were looking at our engineering counterparts, they had awesome solutions like App
You mean in
Dynamics.
software engineering?
Yeah, exactly. In
Sure,
software
yeah.
engineering, App Dynamics and Datadog are solutions that you'd have to be crazy to be building an engineering team and not have
And not have
like
something like that,
Yeah,
monitoring
exactly.
the quality of the application.
Yeah, exactly. That's sort of a no-brainer, right? Like, and you're actually
Right.
measuring like 99.999%
Availability, yeah.
Exactly. And yet in data, what are we doing today? We're looking manually at a report or some other data product and hoping that it's right, or checking manually if it's right, which is really crazy.
Yeah.
And so just thinking about kind of the massive use of data today, a lot of that is pioneered and championed by Snowflake, right? With unprecedented growth rates today means that data is being used more and more by more people and near real time or real time often. And in those instances, we need to look for automation. And so we actually borrowed the concept of observability from software engineering and adapted it to data.
Okay.
So we actually asked ourselves, like, what would it look like if we had all the good stuff from observability and software engineering and brought it over? And actually developed that as a category. And actually went back to sort of all the, several hundreds of people that we spoke with, data leaders, CTOs, VPs of engineering, head of data practitioners, data scientists, and collected all the different reasons for why data goes wrong. And actually developed sort of a framework that allows people to actually ultimately build trust in the data. And that is developed by sort of three core motions or three core parts. The first is detection. So data teams should be the first to know about data going wrong.
Right.
It's sort of unacceptable at this point that you'll hear about it from someone else.
From your customer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how quickly can you know about your data going wrong, right?
Yeah.
And then the second part is resolution. So oftentimes data teams today actually spend weeks or months trying to resolve a data incident. They spend north of 30 to 50% of their time actually in data incidents. So quite significant. Yeah, think about all the other things that you could be doing with that time.
Exactly.
And so actually reducing time to resolution by introducing tools that are sort of purpose-built for helping data teams to identify the root cause very quickly and understand what are the implications of something breaking. So if there's a data problem, if there's a table that's not up to date, or a specific field that it's inaccurate, what are all the downstream dependencies on that? Are there other sort of data products or data assets that depend on it? So for example, if Francisco, you're looking at a report every morning at 6 a.m. and something upstream broke, you want to know about that.
Exactly,
Right? You want to know next time I look at it.
What are examples of, let's say, data downtime incidents that, examples that maybe have significant consequences if they go unnoticed?
Yeah, it's a great question. And actually, a great example of this, just recent, Unity, which is a gaming company, actually had a problem with some of their advertising data. And as a result of that, actually lost over $100 million as a result of bad data. That was just reported not too long ago. And that's really an all too common reality. I think the average, something like $15 million per year, actually. And the reasons can vary. So the most common reason, or sort of a practical one, if we take, for example, fintech companies, oftentimes those rely on thousands of data sources that need to arrive on time or arrive daily, for example. And many of them arrive late or don't arrive at all. So taking Vimeo, for example, a Snowflake customer and Monte Carlo customer, they rely on hundreds of different data sources to arrive. And they make real-time decisions on bandwidth of a video, for example, and how to make the user experience in a video improved. And they make that decision in real time based on data that they collect from the devices, from the users. And so if that data is inaccurate, ultimately your experience as a user and a customer is suboptimal.
So you are a Power BI customer. Powered by Snowflake. Why did you choose to build on Snowflake, and what benefits are you enjoying from joining the program, let's say?
Yeah, so we love the Snowflake community, and I think this conference is a great sort of evidence of that. Such a great atmosphere and great conversations all around. For us, we're first I say primarily many of our customers actually choose Snowflake. And that's important for us, right? As a company, we're very customer first. We're customer driven. It's important to us to really understand and understand the lives of our customers and make their lives easier. And so that's kind of, one primary reason. I think the second reason is the flexibility and, our ability to scale with the company. A lot of flexibility around compute and storage, obviously. But those has been those made it easier for us as a fast-growing company to adapt as well.
Awesome. Yes, good. So I noticed you raised a big D round. What's next for Monte Carlo, and how are you going to apply those funds?
Yeah, for sure. So look, I think the data space. We're very bullish on the data space. Actually, I read somewhere that data infrastructure spend is projected to be the fastest growing spend in the next few years in terms of IT budgets. So data is becoming more and more important. And I think the next frontier of that is actually data observability, because customers or companies invested so much in their infrastructure in the last couple of years in building best-in-class infrastructure. And now it's money time. Now we got to actually make use of the data. We have to drive insights and decisions based on it. And that's really hard to do when you can't trust the data. And so I think data observability is going to become more and more important. And for us, for Monte Carlo, we just closed our Series D round, led by IVP. So we raised a total of over $230 million from awesome investors that we're very fortunate to work with. Some of the same investors in Snowflake and Datadog as well. And for us, we're really looking forward to a couple things. First of all, continue to help build a category, right? Like data observability is something that I can't imagine the world without. And so for us, it's sort of always very important to us to help build a community around the data observability category. And then obviously give back to our customers and invest as much as we can in our customers, whether it's with product features or better support or global support. Our customers are a true North Star. We owe everything to them, so we're excited to double down on that.
Very, very cool. So to wrap up, if our viewers want to learn more about Monte Carlo, how should they contact you, or how can they go about learning more about you?
Yeah, for sure. We'd love to hear from folks. Feel free to reach out. MonteCarloData.com is our address. Feel free to reach out to me personally on LinkedIn. Happy to connect. Looking forward to it.
Thank you, Barr. And as always, if you're interested in building applications, data pipelines, or machine learning workflows, please find us on developers.snowflake.com. Thank you for tuning in.